so hard then? And why does everybody feel compelled to say something more when we've all agreed that it's beyond description? That was the challenge that faced me, but then Rana turned the whole thing brilliantly on its head by saying, it's the building itself which speaks, albeit silently. Hence the expression, the mute eloquence of the Taj Mahal, which she will unpack from the Urdu better than I can. But the idea is that if you only observe and be quiet, the building will speak to you, and it speaks to us primarily through devices like the very carefully selected and positioned inscriptions from the quotations from the Quran that are inscribed on the building, on the gate, brilliantly analysed by Professor Michael Calabria in the accompanying book. And in the language of flowers, the language of decoration, the pietra dura. And it's those two details that particularly Indian artists picked up on in the 19th century. We've got a range of different kinds of works here. And I'm happy to say, actually, most of them are by Indian artists. I mean, there's a quite a number of works by foreign artists too, showing that they too contribute to the construction of the image. But the whole of this wall.
First of all, thank you, Ashish, Giles, Edithu, for entrusting such an important work to me, and for everybody in DAG, Aditi, Shivani, Upma, and Sanjana, all those who helped me for putting this up together. When we speak of the Taj Mahal, we normally speak of love and loss, of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal, of a white marble tomb that has become an eternal symbol of love and devotion. But when we go deeper into it, the Taj itself, or the Rawza-e-Munawwara as Shah Jahan had called it, reveals a much more profound truth, and that is what is being explored in this exhibition here. As a teenager, when I first saw the Taj Mahal, it was from the window of a train. My father was posted in Agra, and we were going to Agra, and early morning and dawn, everybody was very excited, and we rushed to the window to see the first glimpse of the Taj. It was, as Rabindranath Tagore had said, a teardrop on the cheek of time. As I was doing my master's, my term paper was on Taj Mahal, and that is when I explored its architectural majesty. And of course, Shah Jahan, as the emperor of an empire that controlled a quarter of the world's GDP, had at his command master builders, craftsmen, artisans, all the precious and semi-precious stones of the known world of that time. And the magnificence of it is to be seen, so much so that it inspired Sahil Ludhianvi to say, मेरे महबूब कहीं और मिलाकर मुझसे एक शहंशाह दौलत का सहारा लेकर हम गरीबों की मोहब्बत का उड़ाया है मजाक. But there's much more to it. And as I started delving deeper and deeper into Islamic architecture and Tasawwuf, which is the Arabic name for Sufism, I discovered something much more. The Taj itself, as I said, the Rawza itself speaks. It speaks to us. It speaks of a paradisical design, of a paradise garden where Islamic theology and Mughal artistry have framed together calligraphy, geometry, etc., and taken it to a level that is connects earth to eternity, to heaven. This is a architectural meditation on mortality, resurrection, redemption, day of judgment, and eternity. It is Shah Jahan's elegy in stone to Mumtaz Mahal, but it is much more beyond just romance or being just a mere monument. It is a cosmic allegory of transcendence, of a soul. In Islam, and Shah Jahan was an ordained Sufi, so he was very well aware of all the connotations of life after death. In Islam, akhirat is very important. Like every day when I'm praying, I always pray ke akhirat sambhal dena. Make my afterlife beautiful. But this is just a temporal or a transient word. And so it was the akhirat that Shah Jahan was talking about and was trying to show through this beautiful white monument. Beyond that, of course, there was his imperial majesty. But let us first talk of the spiritual lens through which the calligraphy, the geometry, the divine harmony, the unity that has all been portrayed. And as we come from I have divided the exhibition and the catalogue book into two parts, the quotidian and the sacred. The quotidian is the Taj Mumtazabad, as it was called. And when I was thinking of, I was invited to curate this and to invite other contributors to the book, I would only think of Sarthak Mehrotra to write on the Mohalla monument, as he calls it, Mumtazabad or Taj Mahal. It's been very brutally disconnected from the main Rosa complex itself today, but it was a part of it. When we go to the gateway, the Darwaza-e-Roza, the Taj speaks to us. It says, "Enter thou my paradise." And you know that this is an eschatological verse, and then I could think of nobody better than Michael Calabria to write about. He has written about Shah Jahan's Quran. There are 14 complete surahs and 22 other verses from 22 other surahs which describe the themes of redemption, resurrection, and life after death. And also emphasizes doing good. Because as many may know, we keep praying for the redemption of the souls. A lot of the verses, especially the one on Taj Mahal's cenotaph itself, talks of forgiveness. As we enter into the Taj Mahal, today we all jostle for space to take the first look of the Taj Mahal, but it wasn't always so. There was a tree, fruit-bearing and flowering trees there. And when you reached by the time you actually saw the tomb itself, you were prepared for it, gently prepared for it. And then there was nobody better than Amita Beg to talk about the Chandpar. And as we approach and we come closer to the monument, to the tomb, and we enter the cenotaph chamber, I have written a chapter on the flowers. The Quran does not mention any flowers. Now this is a Quranic vision of paradise, the entire complex. But the Quran does not talk of flowers, it talks of only plants. So then I had to explore where did the rest of the tomb is based on the Quranic vision of paradise, where did the flowers come from? So they came from Persian literature, like the tulip, lale. The tulip was actually native to Turkey and Central Asia, and it was taken by the Ottoman Empire into Netherlands, and today it has actually become synonymous with Netherlands, whereas it was lale originated in Turkey. It has, it is, because of its red color, it's seen as a sign of martyrdom and the sacrifice, and any woman who dies in childbirth is supposed to have been martyred. The Taj Mahal actually has only 2 graves, unlike Humayun's tomb, which is a dormitory for the Timurids. Just Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal are buried inside it. But there are, on the periphery, there are other wives, and nobody better than Ira Mukhoti to talk of the cartography of the feminine presence. When you talk of the Taj Mahal, there's a paradox. Apart from its spiritual intent, there is a huge, magnificent tomb there. And Ursula writes in the book about the magnificence of the Mughal architecture. Emily talks of how it became, because one of the things that is, when we think of the Taj, we think of Princess Diana sitting all alone on that bench. That bench was introduced much later. Before that, there was just a reflecting pool, which was supposed to be a symbol of the Hawz-e Kausar in Jannah, where the Prophet Muhammad is going to greet the believers. So Emily talks of the company paintings and how the transformation of something that was a monument of redemption and resurrection became a monument of love. So please enter now this paradise and see this exhibition.
But before you disperse, can I just please invite the contributing authors that Rana has just mentioned to come and join us so we can launch the book. We have Emily Shackleton, Karen Mogati, Michael Calabria, just come up and join us. Ursula Weeds, Amita Beg. So with all of our exhibitions, at TAG, we produce, as you know, scholarly books that accompany them, and we try to get experts from